It's January 24th, 2019, and yes, we have some incredible news. This one is a hot one. We're going to talk about Ronda Rousey and her contract status with WWE, how she's on her way out, and then also we're going to talk about Cody Rhodes, who openly spoke about WWE talent in AEW, and then also, guys, we're going to cap things off with WWE making a big signing. That's right, guys, they signed 2 Impact Wrestling stars, and we got all the information for you guys. So with that being said, make sure you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. Click that thumbs up button, and if you guys could do me a favor, leave a comment down below with what you guys think. As always, thanks for watching, and let's jump right into the news. Now, depending on how you feel about Ronda Rousey will determine whether or not you're disappointed by today's news. So with that being said, let's just talk about it. It sounds like Ronda Rousey is absolutely done with WWE for the time being after Wrestlemania 35. Now, this is something that's actually been rumored for a while, and then it also recently got brought up again with Dave Meltzer talking about it on Wrestling Observer. But now a lot of people are chiming in. A lot of people are digging up old articles of people who had stuff to say about this contract. Now, originally it was reported that WWE signed a multi-year major contract for Ronda Rousey, but it looks like as of right now, the plans were for Ronda Rousey to compete until WrestleMania 35, and then she would be taking a break from WWE for a little bit to start pursuing some things in her personal life. Now, this is somewhat good news, but there's also a little bit of bad news. Now, in my opinion, this is actually bad news, but there is a little bit of good. So I'm going to give you guys the good and bad, and then I'll let you guys determine your personal feelings. So the bad news is very simple, guys. Ronda Rousey is obviously a big name, and she's had some big matches while being in the WWE. Now, obviously, she is a work in progress, but until this past Monday, she hasn't had any losses in WWE. So it makes me really think that WWE is potentially losing out on a big star for a while, when this is a time that they actually desperately need one. Now, the reason why I actually say they desperately need a star is because this could potentially be the main event for WrestleMania 35, and I feel like once Ronda Rousey leaves, as much as I would love to see Becky Lynch and Charlotte main event WrestleMania one day, I'm not sure if that has enough star power to really do that. So the bad news is we're not going to see Ronda Rousey for a while after WrestleMania 35. But the good news is we still could potentially see Ronda Rousey affiliated with WWE. Now, whether this is, press and media and movies and things like that, it is expected that Ronda Rousey will still be involved with WWE in some sort of capacity, but she will not be wrestling for the company for a while. Now, a lot of this is due to the fact that she wants to have kids, and she wants to begin settling down with her husband, who is also a MMA fighter for the UFC. And it's even been said that he's been training for WWE as well. So it sounds like Ronda Rousey is committed to WWE long term, but in this situation, she may be leaving WWE for a little bit to start focusing on her personal life, and then, as always, Vince McMahon would allow her to come back. Now, I am pretty disturbed by this news because Ronda Rousey is somebody that I feel like did a really good job of transitioning into pro wrestling, and I know a lot of people don't always feel the same. I know sometimes they don't like it when UFC fighters or, Hollywood actors get involved in the pro wrestling world, but you could tell Ronda Rousey is truly passionate about this, and of course, we want to see what she's going to do with WWE. We really have some big matches with Ronda Rousey that we haven't gotten to see yet, and this is why the news absolutely sucks. For example, if you guys want that 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match, that might not be happening anytime soon. In fact, it might not even happen at all. Now, the reason why I really want this match to go down is not because of Ronda Rousey and the 4 horsewomen, because Shayna Baszler already in NXT is doing big things, but more so because Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, and Becky, they are the biggest names in WWE's women's division, and they definitely deserve that attention that this would get from the mainstream media. So if you are a fan of Becky Lynch or Charlotte or any of these superstars, then you would want this match to go down because they're going to get that mainstream attention they deserve. They're going to get people talking about them, the TMZs, the Hollywood, all these different press media companies. So that's the bad news. We may never get this match, and that's because Ronda Rousey could potentially be on her way out. Now on to the next story for the day. Today we're going to talk about Cody Rhodes addressing contact with WWE. A lot of people have been talking about whether WWE superstars have already negotiated with AEW. Cody Rhodes basically came out and said that they would not do that because of legal reasons, but they have signed a few superstars in the indie world. So they are bringing people in from the indie wrestling industry. Right now they've made no contact with WWE superstars. Now, of course, he could absolutely be saying this to save face, but it does make sense. There's no reason why Cody Rhodes and AEW should be poaching talent while they're in contract with WWE. There's been rumors that WWE has done this with like New Japan and other companies as well. But one thing that you guys have to know, there's a lot of legalities that go into this. And I'm glad to see that Cody Rhodes actually did address this, because it sounds like in a very professional way, he's putting over some of the talent that we may not know. Especially with the indie wrestling industry just growing, it's booming. There's a lot of things happening. It sounds like Cody is basically telling us, hey, maybe one day we'll get those guys, but as of right now, they're in a contract. We're not worried about signing those guys just yet. In fact, we're going to focus on turning these people into stars. Now, that's not a bad idea for AEW, because they could definitely benefit from creating new stars. I mean, that is one thing that WWE has done a pretty good job with. Roman Reigns probably being the most famous in recent years. But the idea that WWE could take people from NFL and, MMA and cheerleaders and whatever it may be, they take these people, they mold them into pro wrestlers, and then eventually they become stars. It sounds like AEW might want to follow suit. Now, this leads me to the question that I want to ask everybody. Who do you guys want to see jump to AEW, especially with guys like Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho turning down Impact Wrestling? Now we know Jericho is going to AEW. We kind of have an idea that Kenny Omega is pretty much going to AEW. Is there anybody that you guys want to particularly see in the AEW ring? Let us know in the comment section below. All right, and in today's news, final news of the day, we're going to talk about WWE signing 2 Impact Wrestling stars. Guys, the creative geniuses behind Impact's incredible storylines this past year, Abyss and Sanjay Dutt, are finally making the move to WWE. It is being said that Triple H has been a fan of both of their work, and he invited them in a creative position for them to join as backstage agents or creative team members for NXT. And this is actually really exciting because these 2 guys are really good. Not only were they good in the wrestling aspect, but they are veterans of the industry. And guys, they saw the ups and downs of Impact. So imagine the kind of work they can do with a company like WWE, who has millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, especially the NXT brand. It's such a growing brand. There's a large roster. It definitely makes sense. But there's one thing that definitely disappoints me about this news, guys, and it's the fact that Abyss will not be competing in a WWE ring. And this sucks because for the longest time we've been waiting and wanting an Abyss match. We've wanted to see Abyss compete against The Undertaker. That was something that was offered to Abyss, about 10 years ago roughly. He was offered a WrestleMania match against Undertaker, and he stayed loyal to Impact. And it sucks, guys. He's no longer with Impact, and it's like we're never going to see that match happen and what it could have been, and maybe Abyss could have ended the streak. We don't know. A lot of people are clamoring that maybe Abyss will take a really cool position at the Royal Rumble by doing something really cool as like a surprise entrant. Maybe just because we've never seen him compete for WWE, maybe WWE would be cool enough to do that. But as of right now, it's just expected that he's going to be competing in WWE as a creative member or backstage member. So he's actually not competing at all. He's going to be in a suit and tie. And obviously everybody knows about Sanjay Dutt. He is an incredible talent, but also he brings a lot of intelligence to the industry, and that's exactly what they're looking for from him. So I want to know what you guys think. Obviously, Impact Wrestling losing out on these 2 guys is a big deal, but they did make some changes as well. They came out. Ed Nordholm made a statement about this. It sounds like everything was good terms. One thing that he did mention, though, is Conan and Tommy Dreamer now taking their positions within Impact Wrestling. So how creative changes in 2019 for Impact Wrestling is going to be interesting. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And guys, with that being said, let's talk about it. Free merch. I'm hooking up people with the best comments with merchandise. So make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Hook this video up with a thumbs up. Let's get you guys some free merch. And yeah. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys click that like button, leave a comment down below, and click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time here on Destination Pro Wrestling.
You have reached your destination.